Well, good evening, my friend. Sit down, take a load off. Yeah, welcome back. I'm going to sit up against the tree here because it's more comfortable over here, and I just set up my camera, or my phone rather, and I mounted it on this one of those little like vent clip camera things, and I put that on a board. And then I put these little magnetic lights on each side, so I have some lighting. And, it's not bad for being out in the woods. It's a little bit chilly. It's about 9:30 at night, and it's supposed to get pretty nasty out here. So I thought I'd come enjoy my bench before the roof probably blows off it. And I just finished making a video about everything from what's going on in the Middle East to what's happening in my country. And I finished it, and then I just deleted it. It's like, even though I have my other channel that I can upload stuff like that to, I just don't want to spread any more bullshit. Sometimes I just have to get it out, because nobody wants to hear me complain about politics, right? So by at least just saying it to the camera, it helps. And I'd like to say to any of you out there who have complaints, it's just like writing a letter. Sit down and yell at your fucking phone for a bit. Tell it how you feel and then just delete it. Well, I guess maybe not these days, because everything you record on your phone is probably saved to the cloud, whether you delete it or not. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. That's what I decided to talk about. Something a little more positive. AI and the actual danger of AI. All the lunacy growing up, with the Terminator mentality. Skynet, right? AI is going to decide that humans are a threat and extinguish us. As we develop AI, we realize that the threat isn't from AI itself. It's from us. And I've heard a lot about the AI tech bubble. I'm sure you have too, if you're interested in that stuff whatsoever. Just to give you kind of an idea, they spent something like $500 billion on research and development and creation, with a return of something like 20 billion from actual consumers. Now, don't get me wrong, military applications, corporate applications, playing the stock market, which they've been doing for years, AI will have many uses, and many companies will be willing to pay big dollars to use it and to be able to, solve problems. The healthcare industry, creating new medicines. These are all real applications. However, the product is centralized in the sense that you build these computers, and the amount of power that is required for these is draining entire towns of, their power supply, and raising rates because these companies come in and they get a discount from the state. Oh yeah, come to our state. It'll create jobs, and this old bullshit promise. And then you have these giant server farms, and it's just such a weird, these AI data centers, and how everything's just popping up so fast, and before even people realize what's going on. And the AI tech bubble is what's keeping the American economy afloat right now. Like, that's it. Most of the money is being spent by the wealthiest. And therefore, there's two economies. There's the economy on paper, then there's their economy in your fucking hometown, right? The reality of most Americans struggling, or a lot of Americans struggling. But this isn't something that happened overnight. And it's not just like, oh, Trump's in office or something, and now the economy's bad. No, this has been ongoing for a long time. 2008 was just kind of a symptom of what was to come. And the promise of AI, with all the other shit we need to spend money on, the promise of AI was to solve our problems. But really, it's just going to make rich people richer. Slow down, bro. Might hit a deer. In fact, there's a deer up the street that always hangs out by the apple tree. And it's like every time I drive home from working, he's sitting right there eating with her little fawn, so I have to slow down, make sure I don't hit a deer. Living out in the country is it's a different world. I love it out here. I love the quiet and the peace. Earlier, I was back at my house, and my old house, fixing it up, trying to get it ready to sell. It's a lot of work. And the minute I got there, there's dogs barking, sirens going, and I realized, again, why I moved and why I'm so glad I did. Wanting to get out of the city for so long. Suburbs. I got some chem dog here. Wow, and it burns perfectly too. I paid a little premium for these. It was $9 for 2. So 2 grams. It's pretty expensive for what it is, but it's chem dog. It's one of my favorites. Yes, I'm a cannabis smoker. What can I say? As tacky as it is, I had my whole secondary channel was dedicated to my cannabis growing, and I had outdoor and indoor. Back then I had a medical card. That was before it was legalized in Oregon and Colorado at the same time. But actually, when people say Colorado legalized first, actually Washington did. But I think Colorado was the first to implement, and a better system at that. And when I say a better system, what I mean is you can grow your own cannabis in most of the states now where it's legal. We see how far it's gone. And, not in Washington State. Still got to buy it from the stupid store, and you can't even smell it first. It's kind of a microcosm of the bigger problem we have in this nation with, each state has its own rights, and that's good. It should be that way. But it makes it difficult, when you're navigating across state lines, different rules, different laws. You can drive, I'm pretty sure, cannabis, I think, is legal in Montana now, and cannabis is legal in Washington. But to get to Montana from Washington, you have to drive over the Idaho Panhandle. And it's only a couple hours. I think it's less than 2 hours across that state panhandle. But cops, man, they know. And they'll bust people going through there. It's bad. I mean, I don't know how bad it is as far as how often they do it. But it's bad that people have to take a risk and forget. Because you might be just taking a vacation and not even think about it, I would imagine firearm owners have the same issue, trying to carry their gun across state lines, not realizing they're in another state. But I guess that's not really on the topic of AI, is it? That's okay. We talk about everything here. A little bit of everything. I think that the promise back to AI was that they thought everybody was going to want to use it all the time. And even when we do, it costs them money. But, I've been getting ads for like ChatGPT. And that just tells me they're desperately trying to get more people, to try these things out. I did download DeepSeek a long time ago, and I used it a few times. And then I called it out for being wrong, and finally got it to admit that it hadn't been updated. It's just, AI is just a joke, I'm not saying that it's not going to be beneficial, but the idea that so many people actually just believe the AI overview on Google and they go with that. And I'm assuming there's a lot of people out there who do that, because I found myself just wanting to take a shortcut. But whenever I look something up now, I just scroll past. I scroll down to something. It's often the second page, because the AI powered algorithms as well, we don't understand how they work. And the kind of bullshit ads they feed us are just... I'm not a consumer, so I don't buy stuff. But everybody buys things. Like, they know... I've been getting ones for, like, healthcare and stuff like that. And it's like... shit, you could be thinking about getting pizza and you'll get a pizza ad. And it's just bad how really on top they are as far as knowing what the average person is thinking or wants, because most people don't know themselves very well. Sometimes I can be talking about something in a room. My wife's done it. Everybody I know has said this happened to them, and then an ad pops up for some random thing. You know they're listening. They're always listening. Making this video, my phone is listening, but there's probably a half dozen apps on there that are listening on their own accord, as well as the NSA and everybody else, because no privacy exists anymore. And that's kind of my biggest fear with AI. My only, I guess, my real concern is all this data we've been giving the system for so long, being compiled and used against us, knowing that everything about me is already on a file somewhere, right? And all of you as well. And there's likely been, because AI can do all this quickly, okay? A supercomputer can analyze this shit quick. And anything that goes to the public goes through fucking military and the Pentagon first. That's just usually how it goes. I'm guarantee you these people have been working on this shit for a long time. And all of our data has been stored. Everything back to shit you bought when you were a kid. Everything's bought with a card, even when you pay cash. A lot of people are using their store card for their credit or their discounts. There's no coupons, it's all on the card. Everything you do is sold to these third parties, which is sold to healthcare companies. Say, oh, this guy eats a lot of Twinkies or buys a lot of beer, or this person smokes, or, maybe you're turned down for a job because somebody's scanning all your social media posts. Like, there's just no hiding. You just have to be 100% authentic and be who you are. And be cool with it, but also be willing to hide certain things that might be beneficial for you in the long run. I say this as kind of a wink and a nod to those who know what I'm talking about. This might be a good time for a lot of people to play dumb. As much as possible. Stuff falling in the woods. Like the prepper type people, or those who talk a lot about firearms, that kind of stuff. There's only so much I can say. I've told my buddy about that forever. It's like, you don't have to tell the whole world that you went out and bought this new, rifle or something. It's like, some things are best kept to yourself. Of course, he's already on a list because he's buying it, right? But that's not my point. It's everything that we do. If you're a smoker, if you buy cigarettes, pay cash and don't use your card. Even if you eat bad food, certain foods that you shouldn't eat, all those things are recorded against us. And they're probably not a big deal. In the long run, might not matter. But, if it costs us a job, or we get denied health coverage or auto insurance, something like that, because you drive fast. When I signed up for insurance it's like 3 years ago for my bus, I was renewing the policy and they said, oh, by the way, yeah, you can get this discount. We got you this and this and this discount. It's like, oh, all you have to do is download this app. And it was like the safe driving app, right? And you have to agree that it basically tracks what you're doing at all times. They're like, oh, well, it's only used when you're driving. I'm like, well, how do you know when you're driving, right? But this thing knows how fast you're driving, whether there's a sudden jolt. Phones can be dropped. There was a case I heard about a guy who, they said he was, what was it? Driving too fast or something weird like that, but I can't recall now. But yeah, his phone was, it's using all the accelerometer and all that kind of shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I'd really love to live in a world where people still have privacy, but that's long gone. So that's my long-winded fear of AI. And I don't have anything to really hide, but I don't think that's the point. I think it's that some things should still be mysteries out there. And what this leads to is pre-crime, Minority Report shit, right? And maybe I'll just go watch that tonight again. But this leads me back, I guess, to a big point that I should make. I wanted to make in the previous video. I hate quoting George Orwell in 1984, so I'm not going to quote anything. I'm not even going to use the terminology like doublespeak. We are living in such a reflection of that, and we're doing it willingly. And I hope people are ready for what's going to come. And that's not to sound like I know what I'm talking about, because I definitely don't. I just know it. I can see it. I can feel it. It's happening right now. I mean, we are in a changing world. Honestly, figuring out how to navigate it's going to be tricky for a lot of people, you know. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see where we end up. And with that said, I'm going to head back to the house, get warm because it's cold out here. Maybe get in the hot tub. We'll see. We'll just see. Peace.